め続けたあの日の夜
What's up, guys? This is your Anime Degens BS Hour episode 58. Once again, I am here with my co host, Tyler. How are you, brother?
Hey, I'm doing great. I just got done working out not too long ago, so I can hardly lift my arms up right now. It was like chest and tricep and shoulder day, so
Yeah. Getting
you won't
swole.
see me waving at the camera much today. So
Oh, okay. It's all good. Um, yeah, I've been working all day. Super long drive up to Northern Virginia up here right now, but hey, I'm here. You guys can see that I have the hotel uh, backdrop behind
as,
me.
what is it? Aesthetic.
Aesthetics, yes. The hotel aesthetics. Yeah. But everything's all good over here. But yeah, man. We're missing Dan again, but it's okay. He'll be back soon enough. It's kind of like where in the world is Carmen San Diego, except for it's Dan. You know, but we'll find him one day, right? We'll catch up
You
to him.
you
But guys,
know I played that game, like, quite a bit when I was a kid, and it confused the hell out of me. I could never get the hang of it, but I was, like,
wait, it was a game.
5. I'm pretty sure.
It was a game. I only watched the animation, the
It was
TV.
like a PC game or some shit, like
Ooh, I did not know. Yeah, me and my mom used to watch the cartoon when I was like tiny.
I didn't even know it was a cartoon. I just
3 or
always thought of it as a game because it was so it was one of those, children's games that like it taught you, I guess, basic troubleshoot or problem solving skills, I guess,
mhm.
but as a kid, I guess I just couldn't get it. I couldn't figure it out, so
Yeah, it was definitely like an animated little series, and okay, I'm seeing it here. It aired from 1991 to 1996. So damn, I
okay.
was I was like at the oldest 4 years old when I was watching that. How do I remember that? Crazy. But, getting past that, guys, the best way to support us is to rate the podcast. We appreciate you guys that have already rated. Now tell your friends to rate us too, and check out the podcast. I'm sure they'll love it. But as always, if you have any interesting topics that you'd like to discuss and let's chop it up on the show here, hit us up on linktree.com/anime degens, the Discord, Twitter, um, threads. We're on it all, y'all. Y'all know what's up. So let's kick it off. And I'm gonna let you guys know the segment we have today. We're just gonna do a Degens review of Monsters 103 Mercies Dragon Damnation. It's a little ONA related to One Piece, and I had a fun time. Little 23-minute show. We're gonna do spoilers all in one today. Best advice to you, just go check it out. It's 23 minutes. Come back, take a listen so you can enjoy it alongside with us.
Yeah,
It's on that.
if you like One Piece, like, you should definitely check this out because even though, like, it doesn't have a lot of, like, I guess, legit One Piece references, except for what in the beginning and end. Like, this is a really good show for, like, One Piece fans. So, but um,
And even if you
I
don't like One Piece, it was a fun 23 minutes.
yeah, it's on Netflix, by the way. So
Very accessible, very accessible. But Tyler, you wanna go ahead and get us into some news?
yeah, so the first bit of news we got is actually Call of the Night. Season 2 has been announced and confirmed. And for those of y'all that don't know, this is a High Dive show. It aired on High Dive,
Or
I think, last year sometime, I believe, or if it wasn't last year, it was like late 2022. I'm not sure which one, I forget, but this is like a slice of life romance with vampires in it. So, and the one of the biggest things I like about this show was the OP and ED, which was done by Creepy Nuts, who actually has done the Mashl's season 2, the bling bang boom born or whatever. Uh,
uh-huh.
and they actually are the ones that did that. So, but
Right.
yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. It was an okay show, but I'm excited to see more of it.
Yeah. I haven't watched it yet, but maybe I could be swayed. Maybe I could be swayed. But our next piece of news is The Boy and the Heron actually won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature. It competed against Elemental, which I heard was a great movie, Nimona, Robot Dreams, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I've only seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and it says a lot about The Boy and the Heron that it beat that out. I thought it was Spider-Man was a phenomenal movie. I still need to go check out The Boy and the Heron. I was gonna watch it yesterday for my Sunday evening chill down, but it is not out on Max until June of this year, 2024. So gotta wait a little bit.
Yeah, I know Dan hyped it up a lot, so I haven't seen it yet either. I kind of got what's the word? Hoodwinked? Is that the correct word for it?
Mhm.
Uh where like it looks like it was on Max or whatever, and then it's not though when you actually click on it and look or whatever. So, but
No, they just say coming soon. They just trying to
yeah.
get you to stick around.
Yeah. Even though I get it for free with my phone service, I'm not going nowhere, so
Oh, that's good, that's good. Somebody else is paying for it, or it might be with their phone service, I have no
yeah.
idea. Um, but you wanna get into our next piece of news here?
Yeah, so another one that I'm interested in, excited for, it is Honey Lemon Soda, and this is a anime adaptation, and it's announced for January 2025. It already been like announced that it was coming,
Mhm.
or leaked and announced that it was coming, but now we actually got a date, an official date, which is January 2025. So I'm looking forward to that. I was kind of hoping it would be sooner. I haven't read the manga for this, but like I know people that has read the manga and they like gas it up quite a bit. So it seems like my type of show, if you know what I mean. So
Feel you. I know exactly what you mean, Tyler. So,
I'm
honey lemon soda, that sounds about right, yeah, for
yeah.
you. Yeah, that's it right there.
When you said I was gonna you was gonna check out Call of the Night, I was like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. He's just playing
I
right
may
now.
I may have been capping, I may have been lying, who knows, who knows?
But yeah, I'm pretty excited for those two things. It's right up my alley. So
Excellent, fantastic. Love it. So, next, guys, we have Kenshin has been announced for fall 2024. We are seeing an October date. No, well, not a specific date yet, but the October time frame. It's going to run for two hours, and it's going to go over the Tokyo upheaval arc. In my opinion, at the speed they're going, this should finish out the entire anime here. So, very excited for that. You guys know I love Kenshin, and I look forward to having it back on the rundown for the fall.
really, so this. You think this second season? That's what it is. It's not a cower because we had two cowers before. But you think it'll actually finish up the whole Kenshin like storyline?
It should, yeah,
Okay,
it should.
okay. Pretty excited for that then. Because obviously I haven't ever watched Kenshin past the point where we just watched it earlier. So
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure that y'all said that it was gonna get heavier. So
Yeah, it's going down.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole everything we've seen is just, like, set up, so we can meet all the characters and love all the characters so far. The rest of it is gonna hit pretty hard. I'm excited. I'm really excited for it.
Hey, as long as what I ultimately hope for is like Kenshin not to leave. Um, I guess, and Kenshin to stick around with Kairu. That would be fun for me. I don't know if I'm not looking at Bastard's face right now because I don't want any spoiler facial expressions.
Okay, okay.
But but yeah, the next piece of news that we actually got is Dragon Ball Daima. I know we talked about this before on the news. They actually got a release date now, and it's going to be fall of this year as well. So we're going to have Kenshin and Dragon Ball Daima. in fall 2024, and honestly, sh- shouldn't we be getting Bleach again around that time?
Yeah, I think so. Or is well, these came out summer last year, right?
Yeah, I mean
Or
it should.
fall. But yeah,
Yeah,
it should be around
summer.
that time. We'll be munching down on some
So
bleach.
it
So
was fall and then summer and who knows, maybe fall this time. So,
we'll see. We should know soon if it is summer.
but that would be really fun to see like all the old oldies like Dragon Ball, One Piece, uh Bleach, and Kenshin like all airing at the same time, and then we still got that Naruto thing that just like disappeared out of nowhere for like the anniversary or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
still coming sometime, so maybe we get them all back at the same time.
All the 30 somethings can go ahead and eat once again. Yeah.
But yeah, this is actually the first time a Dragon Ball series has aired on TV in 6 years. Actually, since Dragon Ball Super in March 2018. I thought that was a pretty neat thing to say because I thought Dragon Ball had been over for a while now, so that's news to me. But
No, Super I mean, 6 years is a while.
yeah,
I didn't realize Super was so old. I really did not. So, it kinda surprised me when I saw March 2018. I did not realize it had been that long at all. I thought maybe it ended in, like, 2020.
okay,
But yeah, it had been a while. I typically watch the new arcs when they come out because it's Dragon Ball. That's, like, the OG for me. But we'll see what happens with this Daima shit. Somebody
yeah.
else is gonna have to watch it first, so y'all let me know.
I think it's more focused on I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's canon or not, but I'm pretty sure it's like focused on kids or something. The I don't know if it's like uh their kids or like when they was kids or I don't know. Something about kids, I think. So,
Gotcha.
but yeah, I guess it's also kind of surprising because I can't I always forget that we're in 2024 now. It still feels like, 2021 or 2022, so it always feels like it's like shorter. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to
Right up
say.
here. What do you think? The goddamn.
I'm lost in the
I
time now, so
was about to say my man lost in time. Yeah, 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 yeah. But you ready for the Degens review, my guy?
yeah, yeah, let's get this show on the road. I know that's what the people's been waiting for.
Yes, sir. So this is your Degens review of Monsters. 103 Mercies, Dragon Damnation. What a name, guys. What a name.
Yeah. It's definitely a wild name, but I'm pretty sure Zoro. I'm pretty sure this is actually a move that Zoro does that he used against King, right?
I don't remember if it was or not.
I, I'm almost 99% certain that this is a finisher move that Zoro used against King and Wano. When he went like when he was like went King of Hell mode, he
Oh
used this
yeah,
move.
yeah. So it was three, but it was called Three Sword Serpent. 100
Okay.
Mercies, Dragon Damnation. Yeah, but that's it though.
Okay.
That's the finisher.
Yeah. So I knew I'd seen it somewhere. So I'm glad my memory ain't that bad yet. So
Hey, you did a good job right there. But guys, it's an O&A based on a one-shot manga released by Ichiro Oda, our man Oda, back in 1994. So it actually predates One Piece, but it is related. So pretty much what they did was Oda calling back characters from previous works, and our guy Ryuma Shimosuke was one of these characters, and he just made him Ryuma in One Piece. So the ONA was directed by Sung-Hoo Park and produced by E&H Production. So it just came out, I think, almost 2 months ago now, the 21st of January 2024. So this is pretty new. If you guys like One Piece, like Tyler said, you'll love this. So as a quick synopsis, so Monsters is, like I just said, the ONA from Ichiro Oda. So this is the story, a piece of Ryuma's story, and we're gonna just follow him into this small town where there's some villains and a dragon is coming to destroy the town.
And
Now, right up, go ahead.
And so I did just a little bit of research before our episode, and because I wanted to figure out kind of what the setting was for this, as far as official One Piece world, and from what I figured out from different sources, including Reddit and just like Google in general, was that actually this is like a town in Wano, and that this was about 400 years before One Piece that we know began. So
Okay, cool, cool. So it
so
was a town in Wano? This is where we're at right now?
that is to the best of my knowledge what I discovered through about 30 minutes of research on the internet. So 400 years before One Piece, before we met Luffy, and it is a town in Wano, or someplace in Wano, apparently. So
Yeah, so this is I mean, it's obviously before Wano's closed.
yeah.
It makes sense that there's mountains around the entire area. It once a very mountainous country. But, just going off the bat, man, like, how was the animation for you? Because I watched this on a hotel TV, so I couldn't tell if the animation was pretty spotty or if it was just this TV that I'm using.
Um, so like it's a little bit weird because obviously Toei didn't do this. I think
Sure, yeah.
uh who did it? E&H production? Is that
Yeah, that's it. Mhm.
so? I've never heard of them, honestly, but I don't know what they've done in the past, but they actually did a pretty decent job. But considering that we, I guess, are used to Toei's form of animation and stuff, it definitely looked a bit odd through my eyes,
Mhm.
because yeah, like I said, it's not Toei, and it it's probably going to be the same feeling when we actually get like Wit Studios doing the remake. It's we're going to be watching this new One Piece remake with Wit Studios at the helm, and we're probably going to watch that and be like, this looks a little bit weird. This looks odd, because it's not going to be Toei. It's not going to be what we're used to. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I mean, that makes sense, and just for some background, E&H Production was founded in, 2021,
Hmm.
by Sung-Woo Park. So he's the president and CEO. It's a small studio, 45 people.
Okay.
That's really it. So it looks like, Sung-Woo used to work for MAPPA. So he's worked on things like Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, God of High School. So experienced person. They just started putting out some, television series, and this is their first ONA.
Is this the people that is doing Ninja Kamui right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which is going hard right now. It's like almost like 8.5 or something on Mao. It's releasing right now, but I don't think it gained a lot of hype because it was one of those like mid-season releases. So, but now it's like picking up steam and everybody's talking about it. And I'm pretty sure it was the one show that Dan was complaining about the teeth being weird or something
Ah,
in the trailer. So
yeah, so they got individual teeth. I can see that just from this
yeah,
picture I pulled up. Yeah.
yeah, I remember us talking about it
Individual teeth.
on the podcast one time, and Dan was talking about the teeth. So
Yes, yes. So, getting back to monsters. So, I mean, just the setting of the village, I thought was really cool. You said it's in Wano, but 7 years ago there was a dragon that attacked, and apparently this guy who also looks a little bit like Mihawk, current day Mihawk, Serrano saved this girl Flair from a dragon that destroyed her hometown back in the day, 7 years ago. Um, I was also thinking like he could save the little girl, but he couldn't save the town. Like, bro, like what the fuck is going on with this guy? But
yeah,
also,
it definitely seemed a little off at the time, especially since he was dubbed the world's greatest swordsman or whatever, right? Or the
yeah,
not. I'm leaning into Mihawk right now. I think it's actually called the Master Swordsman, right? So
Yeah, they called him a master swordsman, but they
yeah.
said, he was only second to the king in swordsmanship in the world. So he's supposed to be that guy. He's supposed to be that guy, and he couldn't do shit with this dragon.
And see, that makes me also think that they mentioned the king, so like the king of Wano, right? So
Yeah, so either the king of Wano or yeah, that's what I was thinking as well at the time that they were talking about this. I was like, "Damn, the king must be he must really be that guy. He must be king for a reason." But, yeah, we also saw this guy called DR. I thought his name was Doctor, when they were doing, like, the name cards, 3rd class swordsman, DR. But he kinda showed up, and I thought this was kind of odd. So we saw beforehand when Shirano, like, bumped Ryuma's hilt and, like, the bar, he, like, freaked out and it was like, "Nah, we gotta go to the death now." Like, what were you thinking about that? Do you think he was, like, ODing on that, or, like, what was your feeling on that?
I mean, and he explains it some, during those scenes, and which I mean for me, like we haven't really seen like this side of a like legit samurai, I guess you can say, So we
Yeah,
really don't know how like they live, right? Um
you
we
touch my
know
foot, you gotta die.
yeah. We
So
know that like Kinemon was like weird as hell. So I mean, but we never did get a chance to see like those moments happen in One Piece. Like his hilt bumping another hilt. Apparently that means you want a duel or something. In the samurai language.
yeah, 'cause a swordsman's I mean, a samurai's sword is his life.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes some sense to me, but yeah, just bump it into you and it's like, "Nah, one of us gotta die" is a little quick to the trigger for me. Um, but yeah, so DR showed up and kinda like, bumped this hilt, made, Ryuma, like, freak out, "Hey, we got a battle," and then he, like, fake stabs himself, and we clearly see it's a fake stab. Ryuma never touched him, and, like, the whole town was like, "Bro, like, what the fuck are you doing?" And then the homeboy, like, blows the dragon's horn, which is, like, what summons dragons in Wano apparently. Because why do you need that? Why do you need that, bro? Who made that? But did, like, the dialogue with Flare make any sense to you for her, like, blaming Ryuma? Because, yeah, okay, even if I did bump this guy and piss him off and I stabbed him, I still didn't make him blow that horn.
uh yeah, so that did confuse me a lot, which I know that obviously she's got trauma, I guess, that's connected to dragons, the dragons. But I don't know. I mean, I guess she was feeding off the town's energy. The only way I can like justify it is that she was feeding off the town's energy, and everyone thought that Ryuma stabbed Dr. And then Dr. like I guess retaliated by blowing the horn. I didn't
Right.
really understand. Well, I did in the end, but I didn't really understand at the time why he would blow the horn just because he got stabbed or whatever. So
Yeah, like, in my mind, like, it would be like so, like, you're, like, at a store, right? And, like, a guy bumps into you, and you like, "Dude, what the hell is your problem?" He pulls out a gun and starts shooting everybody.
yeah,
Are people really gonna blame you or the guy that shot everybody?
yeah,
Not
I
your fault.
just
Like,
didn't get it.
like, yeah, he went, like, way overboard. So, like, I was if something's gonna be 23 minutes long, it shouldn't have any plot holes in it, is how I feel.
And then one thing that bothered me a lot was the fact that he did blow that horn. But the thing is like, so if you legit got stabbed by some dude or whatever, and
Right.
you, I mean, and so you blow this horn that's supposed to summon this dragon, and you're like stabbed, and you're like bleeding out or whatever, didn't you just make it harder on yourself because now dragon's coming, you're like pretty injured and you're in the way of that dragon too, right? Like it just didn't make sense.
Yeah, it's definitely like a suicide, move because he was like, "Yeah, if I'm going out, you're going out with me, and I'm just gonna take the whole town too, fuck it," right? Like,
Yeah.
ridiculous.
But the issue is I don't think that dialogue happened, right? He didn't say anything like that, right? So
He definitely did. He definitely
oh,
did.
he did, okay.
Yeah.
I must have missed that in the, whole, dramatic thing of, like, the whole town screaming at Ryuma because he stabbed somebody and the dragon's coming because of Ryuma now. It was definitely really over exaggerated, and I didn't feel like that was needed, so
No, no. I mean, it's just a little one-shot manga from 1994. It's 30 years old at this point.
yeah.
But if I'm gonna watch something, I gotta at least nitpick it a little bit. So this is really my only negative I have to say about this. Um, but after that, we kinda, like, saw a bit of the truth, but before we kinda get into, like, the big reveal and everything, were there any moments, up to this point that, like, kinda, like, stood out to you that were really cool?
Um, like, so, I think at this moment, like,
And
before
not even
we
like
get into
moments, like,
any of
anything that
the
stood out to you, it was like, "Oh, that's kinda tight."
yeah, so one thing that really stood out to me was the fact that I went into this obviously knowing that this was a predated One Piece, um,
Mhm.
and that it originally wasn't like related to One Piece until Oda wrote Ryuma into One Piece, and then obviously it became a thing. But I instantly noticed like the first time we seen Shirano, which is the Master Swordsman, um it's weird because he's literally got like the hat on. He's literally got the feather in his hat. He's got the mustache. He's called the Master Swordsman. I'm like, are we watching? Are we watching? You know, Mihawk. Are we watching Mihawk right now?
Right.
And I was and what instantly come through my head is like, when was this? When like what age was this in the One Piece verse? And that's when I went down my loophole trying to figure it out because I had to know like, is this Mihawk's like grandparent, or like is this Mihawk?
Right.
Like
I
is he
I
like
could
long
I
lived?
could see him I could see him being related to, Shirano, Mihawk being related to Shirano or, like, practice at the same school, um, for, like, swordsmanship or something like that. But you can definitely tell by, like, how he looks. He looks similar to Mihawk, but he doesn't look or act the same at all. And, like, you also found out it was 400 years before the events of One, so definitely not Mihawk unless Mihawk is old and he had some replacement eyes. We've seen it before in anime, but, but yeah, so they definitely looked very, very similar, and I think it's kinda cool to, like, see places where Oda took people from his past works and put them in One Piece, because the One Piece cast is massive. So I'm
Yeah.
sure he's used a lot of characters from any, like, even short or small stories that he's had before, you know?
Yeah, I'm not well versed on his past works or whatever because One Piece has consumed my life. But I do like you said, I do wonder if like this version of this Master Swordsman Shirano
Mhm.
is what he used as inspiration for Mihawk. I do wonder that because I think it was to some extent. I think he carried over some of the like looks and whatever, but he left some things behind too. So
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, like, in any case, I think you would, like, adapt even if you're taking a character from another story, you have to, like, adapt them to fit into the new story. But, yeah, it definitely you can definitely tell he at least got some of the design from Shirano. But, yeah, really, really cool.
yeah,
Um, But
And
next we
also,
kinda see eh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and yeah, also, like Ryuma, for example, as well. He's a very good example because obviously this was before One Piece 2, and I really do think Zoro was kind of made after him. But watching like this, Zoro's nothing like him personality wise. I mean, Ryuma could have been an influence on Zoro, except that their personalities wasn't the same. So,
Yeah, he does like, yeah, the physical aspect, he definitely came,
yeah,
definitely came from Zoro. But yeah, one thing that I saw that was really, really cool was, our old sword that Zoro.
Way, I
Yeah,
think.
Shisui. Shisui?
Yeah,
So that's what our boy Ryuma was using, of course. So that's
yeah,
where we saw Ryuma and through their bark back in the day. So that was really cool to see for me. That was my probably one of my favorite things out of the whole show was like just seeing Ryuma. And so one thing that I thought was interesting, and I don't know if that sword was originally used by Ryuma or if he's just an old owner of it in Wano, but it was already a black blade.
yeah,
So I found that very, very interesting. It was already a black blade, maybe even before he had it. So it's a very storied piece of equipment, a storied katana from Wano. So that was really cool to see. 'Cause I
yeah,
thought
and
oh,
also,
maybe we were gonna get to see a white Shisui.
yeah, I don't know where it come from. It didn't really dive into that. Which uh, I'm I'm pretty sure Zoro doesn't have it anymore, right? He left that
He left
behind
for
for
Enma.
Enma. So,
Uh,
but one thing that really surprised me is I was talking about like the how Ryuma could have been an influence to Zoro, but their personalities are nothing alike. And I literally wrote down in my notes as I was watching this, I was like, is Ryuma Sanji's daddy? Because he be acting like Sanji right now.
but now a little bit, bro, a little bit.
Did you think so?
Ryuma got a little everybody in him. Yeah, he's a cool character for sure. But I definitely got those vibes. He was going crazy over Flair just for giving him some food, which is a little Luffy-like as well. So
Yeah.
maybe he was just very grateful. That was really nice of Flair, and she gave him a lot of free food too.
Yeah. But that's the couple things that stood out to me the most, really. So,
Excellent. Cool, cool. So after the fake stabbing in the gut and blowing of the dragon horn, because why does that exist? Um, Shirano kind of stepped back on the scene saying, "I'll fight off the dragon." And from that moment on, I was like, maybe he might be in on this. It's just a little convenient. What did you think at the time?
I I didn't think that at all. He still had me hook, line, and sinker at this time. Uh,
No.
yes, like I still thought that he was a good guy. I
Okay,
guess
okay,
spoiler
okay.
alert, he is not a good guy. For all y'all listening right now. But at this time, yeah, I really did think that he was still a decent guy. I
Thought he was
thought
a
that
nice
he was
guy.
gonna put up a fight against the dragon. So,
Okay. Yeah, there was, like, 3 main things that made me think he was just off some bullshit. Well, the first thing he says he's been looking for that horn for 7 years. You've been looking for it, it's in the same city as you, and you ain't found it? Like, what's up with you, bro? That's sus. Um, and then also it seemed like DR knew to bump Ryuma to piss him off. Like, it kind of felt like that was on purpose, and then, DR saying, "Oh, you stabbed me." It's like, "Okay, why is he doing this when it happened?" But then I was like, "Oh, it's a setup, bro. He's gotta be working with Shirano, like, nah." And then that weak ass sob story about him saving a little girl, I was like, "Nah, that's sus. That's sus as fuck." So and I mean, they proved me right in a few minutes later, but I was like, "Nah, something's fishy. Something smells wrong here."
yeah, I mean, especially if you're willing to fight off the dragon, I guess, now, what stopped you from fighting it back then, right? So, I don't know. I just didn't catch the lineup they had going. I was too lost in the sauce, as they say, so
If anything, 7 years later, like, you should be not even
stronger.
worried about a dragon at this
Yeah,
point. Like, if you could fight one 7 years ago and you're really that guy, like, you'd be like, "Okay, nobody even has to leave. Imma just toast this motherfucker."
yeah.
He
I
pulls up, he dies, you know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, like, so we end up learning that well, Ryuma ends up learning it before we do for a fact, and we see him trying to stop Flare from looking at them stealing the treasures from the town. Like, what does that to you, what does that say about his character?
uh, I thought it was pretty cool. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he would have done what he did if it wasn't for Flair though. Like if Flair wasn't like upset or whatever and gonna stay behind and stuff, then I'm not so sure if he would have stopped and like tried to stop them. You know what I mean?
Personally, don't think he cared about them robbing that town. I
Yeah.
don't think he cared at all about them robbing the town. Because
That's the vibe I got too. So,
yeah, it just happened that, like, he didn't like them. You know what I'm saying? Because like, when he confronts, our boy, what I keep forgetting this jackass's name,
yeah.
Shirano, he doesn't say anything about, "Oh, you're robbing this poor town. You broke Flair's heart." He's like, "Nah, bro. You bumped my katana, and you didn't fight." He's like, "You're there's bitch in your blood, and you gotta end here." And I just thought it was crazy that he was watching them rob this town and didn't even mention it while he was about to fight him. Was that not wild to you, or am I tripping? Because like, I really was feeling some type of way watching this.
Yeah, like I said, I really got the vibes that he just didn't actually give a shit that they was robbing the town. I felt like it hurt him more to see um uh Flair upset and that she was gonna stay behind and do something
True.
stupid.
True,
Like
true.
that's where I said like Sanji's personality comes in because his behaviors reminded me of what Sanji would do. So
Mhm.
I mean, and plus, and on one hand, Zoro, it reminds me of Zoro too, because Zoro would not give a shit if they was robbing the town blind, right? So
Yeah, I don't even know if he really even cares about Flair.
I think he
I
does
don't
to
think
some
he does.
extent.
I mean, like, a
Uh,
little bit because she gave him free food. Like, he's just being nice to her 'cause, yeah, like, because of the free food, but Luffy does that, so I really can't blame him.
and if and so I just remembered the whole reason why he did this. If you remember, he actually says the reason why he did it was to repay her for the food.
No, 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 no. He says he did it because he doesn't that guy doesn't have a warrior spirit. Afterwards, he was like, "Oh, I don't owe you anymore for the food." He just wants more free food because he's just like, "Oh, yeah, I fought twice. You actually owe me now."
Yeah. That
Yeah,
I mean, that
yeah.
was his reason though, so
Nah, he was trying to get some more free food, dog. This dude's a scumbag. This dude's a scumbag. I like it, though.
he kinda reminds me of, like, it's a different anime, but, Kenshin, Rurouni Kenshin, he kinda reminds me of something like that, except Kenshin woulda cared probably if they was
Kenshin's like
robbing
the
the town
nicest
blind,
guy
right?
ever. Yeah, Kenshin's like the nicest guy ever.
Yeah.
You compared him to Kenshin? Don't do that.
No, well, so I compare him to Kenshin in the fact that he is a roaming swordsman that
Oh,
helps
okay,
people
okay.
in need, I guess,
Got
sometimes.
you. Got you, got
Yeah.
you. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot more
Not
sense.
his personality because they're different, so
Okay, okay. We were about to have to watch Kenshin again, guys. I thought something had gone horribly, horribly wrong, I'm not gonna lie.
On next week's DGen episode, we're revisiting Kenshin for the second time.
Yes, and Tyler's bringing a notepad. Um, just messing. Um, but
Binkyo.
yeah. Yeah, he's talking about the true heart of a warrior, and what I found was so I had my mouth open for, like, 2 minutes straight. Now, the last time 7 years ago, yes, he robbed the town. A dragon, I think, did actually come, but they killed everybody themselves.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like, I was like, "And you gonna do it again to the same girl? Like, you just can't go on to the next town? Because like, I would be like, "I already killed this girl's whole family in her village. I'm gonna do it again?"
To the same town, from what I could tell, right?
No, I don't think it's the same. I think the old town is gone, and, like, maybe he took her to a new town or she made her way to a new town. Like, you can't tear apart this girl's life 2 times in 7 years like that. I mean, truly a villain.
Yeah. And the fact that he carried her, so she like found him because she was begging for someone to save her parents who was trapped under the house that got, I guess, blown down by the dragon or whatever. And
Right.
he literally carries her to her daddy while her daddy is like trapped and just mercilessly kills him with
Yeah.
her in tow. So
It's nuts. It's,
yeah,
like, so evil. It's so evil. And then th they also call the dragon even though they don't have to. Like, they could just rob this town blind while they're out of town and just leave. But nah, he has to sell the whole thing. The dragon gotta come, gotta kill everybody, gotta burn down the town. It's the same result. I mean, it's just the levels of, like, evil shit that this man has done is just it baffled me, and they got this all across in the matter of, like, 3 or 4 minutes. It was insane.
yeah, it really was wild to see, and I'm so glad that they didn't actually like confirm. Oda didn't confirm that this was his inspiration or like related to Mihawk because I would lose respect uh for Mihawk after watching this if it was his case, you know?
Oh, really? You wouldn't like Mihawk anymore if he was related?
I mean, it's not that I love Mihawk now. It's just that like I would look at him differently after this if
Man,
that was the case.
great granddad, like, you a piece of shit too.
I, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know, I understand. I'd feel the same way. I just had to say it out loud so we could really get a grasp on it.
I mean,
Um,
you know, I guess if the shoe fits, you know what I mean? So,
true, true, true. But I also wanna ask, like, did you like these fighting sequences? So we got to see, Ryuma go after our main swordsman guy here, Shirano, and then DR he went after, but we didn't see that on screen. And then it was a pretty easy fight against the dragon, like, like, they were quick, you know, typical samurai one slash type shit, but I thought the animation was cool.
yeah, they done a fun animated animation style. They did like a black and white sketch, like sketch style. It kind of reminded me of a sketching, um, like
Yeah, it's
animation
like hand
style.
drawn. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
hand drawn, yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed it because I didn't expect something like that. Because like I said, the animation and stuff looked a little bit odd to begin with. It looked not very detailed, I guess you can say. And then they pull out this scene when he was going to fight the dragon, and I'm like, damn, they like this is different, but it's actually like really cool, you know?
Yeah, it was really cool, and I think it fit, like the single slash attack style that, uh, Ryuma was using, and, like, it was also a detail that I caught. You normally don't see, like, during sword fights where, like, somebody makes, like, a killing blow, when the actual person gets cut and where they get cut. We usually get, like, a body block or something like that, and we see the blood spurt or, like, the typical, like, they cross paths and then one just falls. Um, when Ryuma was taking down Shirano, like, we actually saw him getting cut, and we, like, saw where he got cut. It was, like, kind of across his belly up to his chest.
And see, for me, like when I watched that, I wasn't really sure what he actually did. I thought at first that he like cut his hand off or arm off or like his like forearm. He cut his forearm off or something like that. That's what it seemed like to me. But then I got to thinking about it. Like I think he actually killed the man, right?
Yeah, he did.
So
He cut him from, like, down, down like, kinda like a seatbelt buckle.
kind of what
Uh,
Zoro's got on his chest, right?
yeah.
So
Yeah. So he, like, ducked to his right and, like, came up with the slash from there.
yeah, really
Yeah, it was
cool.
pretty tight.
So
Yeah, no, it was pretty tight, and of course, I would like more fighting scenes than not, but, like, this was high quality, I thought,
yeah.
especially out of everything else we saw in the animation, it was a little spotty. I'm glad that you also saw it was a little inconsistent and not as detailed, in some spots. I thought it was just this terrible hotel TV that I'm working with over here, so that's good to know. But did this add anything to the One Piece story for you?
I think so, you know, obviously in the one shot, I don't think they really tied in like Ryuma like that because obviously Ryuma got tied in like in One Piece. But with this show, I think they done a good job of at like for sure tying him in and confirming that, especially at the end, you know, and at the beginning too, because we got what's his name, Sabbath, right? Zoro's VA, dubbed VA, because I'm sure Bass watched it dubbed
Sure,
as well. So,
sure.
um, but we actually got like a little speech from Sabbath, which is Zoro's voice actor in the beginning to start the episode out with, and then at the very end, we actually see here's Zoro's dubbed voice actor talk again, and then it actually shows you know, Thriller Bark, which was really cool. So
It was super dope seeing that back in Thriller Bark and, Ryuma actually handing over, Shusui, um, over to Zoro. It was really cool, and then, like, the I really liked the last few moments of before, like, the flash forward, I guess, is technically what it is. And, like, his Ryuma was, like, leaving the village. Um, we did talk about him saying, "Yeah, Flair, you owe me a meal now." That
yeah.
bastard. But after he left, like, one of the townspeople was, like, remembering and being like, "Oh, yeah, the king is actually it's Ryuma the king." And they call him that because, like, he's a swordsman with the heart of the world's greatest warrior. And it was cool because we thought at the beginning that the king was just, like, the king of Wano, I guess. And it ends up being Ryuma, just the best swordsman in the world, they say.
So I, you know, you ain't gonna believe this, Bass.
Okay.
You're not gonna believe this, but I actually did not put that together till you just said that.
No way.
I promise you. I heard them say this shit and everything, Ryuma the king, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never put it together.
not a king, but yeah, that's his nickname, the king.
That changes the story because I did like I was kind of wondering how like in the beginning. So that changes like my whole outlook on that because now I understand why he acts the way he does, kind of because you know somebody like that would be, you know, upset because somebody bumped their hilt or whatever, right? Because they value that sword more than their own life. And in order to get to be called king, you have to do that, right?
Yeah, you
So
gotta be that boy. You gotta be that guy. Yeah.
so that
Um,
definitely makes sense, especially since his first run in, like I guess he found out that he was kind of playing around or whatever, and then the second time he run into Shirano, he like just blows him apart instantly. So I was like wondering how come he was able to do it the second time, but he couldn't like stand up to him the first time, and that's the
well,
reason why because
mm,
he was actually number one, right?
yeah, so, like, Shirano yeah, when Shirano, like, had sword up to his neck and it
Yeah,
kinda, like, stunned Ryuma, I think he didn't think, Shirano was that good of a swordsman, but Shirano declared victory when he did that, and Ryuma was like, "Man, what are you talking about? Like, no one's dead. Like, no one's dead." So
yeah.
I think he just would have been fine if they actually fought. And I think Shirano got lucky that Ryuma was like, "Whatever, bro. I'm not just not gonna tear this place apart, trying to kill you."
Yeah, I think that's the case too, and I think that Ryuma kind of stopped himself from going further because he sensed that Shirano wasn't gonna fight right. I guess you can say legit. So
Right, right. Yeah, he was like, "This he's really not
yeah,
he's really not like that. Like, he's not the same as me." Yeah. And we've seen Luffy and Zoro do that, like, not fight somebody that's, like, not really like them, you know?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's a cool little detail there at the end. I thought that was cool, and then it went straight into the One Piece flash forward, and I was like, "Yo, this is dope. This is dope." Because I haven't rewatched Thriller Bark yet. I've watched several arcs in One Piece, but Gecko Moria's laugh just has stopped me from reading Thriller Bark. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I kinda got chills, seeing, like, the for them tied in or whatever, even though they didn't really show Zoro. I think there was a reason why they didn't really show his full face or, like, full frontal view. They only showed him from the back, right? And, like, his forehead or whatever, which I thought was kinda weird. So
They didn't show his whole face? I thought they did.
I don't think they did. I think they showed like the top of his head, but I don't think they ever showed his like face. And I kind of think that the reason why they did that is um, because it's a different studio maybe, and maybe they was afraid of you know, criticism, I guess. I don't know. Cause I thought it was kind of weird. Maybe they did show it for a split second, but most of it was like a back shot and like a top of the head shot as they was panning as the sword fell or
Okay,
whatever.
okay.
So
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw his face, but maybe I did not. But yeah, I mean, they showed Ryuma, they showed Thriller Bark, so and
yeah.
they and I mean, it's Oda, he probably could have got Toei to say, "Hey, give him a cut of Thriller Bark." So they put up 'cause I mean, that's what it seemed like they did, like, Thriller Bark looked dead on, the Ryuma
Yeah.
model looked dead on, like, it looked like completely different animation,
Yeah.
that little
So
snippet, so I actually think that's what they did or had Toei reanimate it, I don't know, but yeah, it seemed like it was completely different animation, the quality was a lot higher for the flash forward,
yeah, it
so,
definitely did.
overall,
So
rating, gas or nah?
um I think I mean I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. One thing I will note though is going into this, I thought this was going to be a more serious tone of spin-off episode or whatever, and it felt more comedic. It felt more lighter and comedic. Did it not?
Yeah, bro, this I mean, it's part of the One Piece verse.
Yeah.
Come
I
on,
just didn't expect it to be
bro,
like
man.
lean in on like the I don't know. I felt like it
I
was gonna be more serious. It was gonna be serious and darker because literally the picture of it is like a very detailed like dragon head, right? So
yeah, I mean, that's true, but, like, I kind of expected to Ryuma to be a little bit more serious, but this was young Ryuma, obviously, so
yeah,
maybe not as mature in later years, but it's also kind of nuts that he's that great of a swordsman and is considered, like, at least the nation's best swordsman or the world's best swordsman at such a young age. So, like, he's really got nowhere to go but up, from that point on, I feel like. So, it was just cool to see this. But, yeah, I expected him to be more serious. Maybe not the entire ONA, but definitely him. I thought he wouldn't be having his, forehead in the sand over a few plates of food.
yeah. And I kind of wish I knew how like Ryuma got to where he is at this point to where he was in Thriller Bark. That would be really cool, right?
Yeah, it would be, but, I mean, this is more than what I ever expected to get. So,
Yeah.
I'll take it, and I'll say, I appreciate the studio and Oda, uh putting this together for me because, like, yeah, I think we've always wanted to, like, get a look into who Ryuma actually was.
Yeah, and as far as my rating goes, like like I said, I really liked it. I was a little bit taken back by what my expectations and what I got. But as far as like animation stuff, I thought it was pretty cool. Like it was a little bit less detailed in most scenes, but when it had to go hard, it did go hard. I feel like it definitely kept me interested for the whole one episode, which ain't very which ain't very hard to do. So
Yeah, yeah.
uh, I would say this. I think I would give it like an 8, probably high 7, 8, probably.
Yeah, I'm gonna do like a 7-7 on it. Imma definitely do a 7-7 on it. I love whenever you can tell a story in 20 minutes and it'd be really good. My only knock, I'd probably give it like a low 8 if it wasn't for this very, very spotty animation. There were, like, times in it where, Ryuma's clothes, like, the fabric, I don't know what to call it, the fabric animation or, like, the fabric, texture.
I
It
know
would
what you're saying. I
it would,
think.
like, it would be stationary while he's moving around it. Like,
Okay.
like, I know there's, like, skins in video games that's, like, where it has, like, a grid, and the lines don't move, but the player does, like, they're moving on a grid.
I
Um,
I recall seeing something like that too. I didn't really like think about it too hard though. You know what I mean?
yeah, 'cause and that's what made me start questioning, I was like, "What TV? Or is it or is it the actual animation?" But you said it was the animation, so I knew I wouldn't my eyes were not playing tricks on me after that. But yeah, man, I thought it was really good. I definitely think people should go check it out, especially if they like One Piece, but even if you don't and you have no idea what's going on, maybe this will be like, "Hey, maybe I should watch One Piece."
Yeah, I think it definitely could lead into like a vibe check, I guess, for One Piece. Because this is kind of what like how's like One Piece and Zoro is
Yeah.
kind of so.
It really is actually. So,
But
anything
yeah,
else, man?
no, I think that's about it. I think we covered like a lot of stuff, honestly, with this show. So overall, solid show. Definitely check it out on Netflix, and I think we're good. I think we're gonna wrap this up, and by doing that, it's time for me to say, make sure you tell your friends about the Anime Degens podcast. Make sure you rate the podcast, give us a review on any of the platforms, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Grab your mama's phone, grab your girl's phone, your man's phone. Give us a review. Put them onto us. I mean, we're out here grinding. We're doing the thing, so um, it's free. So but also, if you have any interesting topics or anything that you would like to discuss, whether it be shows that you want us to review or take a first look at, anything at all, just let us know in Discord or any of the socials or even like anything, anywhere. Catch me outside, anything. But linktree.com/anime degens, and we shall see y'all on Tuesday. Later.
振り払っ
Peace.
て街を歩く無数の影雨の中で立ち尽くして